Hello and welcome to the first Snapshot Challenge. Today we will be taking a look at maps that were contributed as part of the first Snapshot Challenge. I challenged mappers to come up with ideas based on the premise of a map that has Infinite Chainsaw or BFG. You see, I've played a lot of maps that incorporate Infinite Chainsaw or Infinite BFG or both, and I always had a hard time with them because I felt that they weren't very, compelling. There just wasn't a lot of great action going. It just becomes sort of tedious and repetitive. So my challenge to the Snap Map community was, can you come up with a Snap Map that uses Infinite Chainsaw, Infinite BFG, but makes it fun? And I said, if you make those maps, go ahead and tag them with custom tag SS1, and I will play them on Friday, September 12th, which is what I'm here doing today. So let's go ahead and I have plugged in SS1. That is the custom tag that was used. Let's go ahead and search, and we see that 5 maps have been made with this custom tag. Let's go ahead and just real quick, we'll go over that. We got Bloodsaw by Shadesmaster. We've got Killing Machine by Vlad Kablitsky 4. We've got Smokey the Doom Guy by Taylorhead. We've got Super Death Gore Chainsaw 3000 by Sonnenbloom. And we've got The Righteous Ripper by CJ the Red Non. And I'm going to be playing them all for you right now. Let's check them out. The first map I played, of course, was Bloodsaw by Shadesmaster. This was a really fun one to play. The basic premise, the way he chose to address the problem of the Infinite Chainsaw being challenging, is first off, it's on a tier system. You have to actually level up the chainsaw. At its lowest level, it can kill smaller mobs, but it keeps getting swapped out of your inventory. And tier 2, when you level it up, you're able to actually keep the chainsaw out and keep chainsawing smaller mobs and use it like a normal weapon in your inventory. And then you finally are able to bump up your chainsaw to the full tier 3, where you're actually able to use your chainsaw against bigger mobs. Now, I felt this was a really creative solution to the problem because, first of all, it creates a different way for you to have to switch away from the chainsaw, in all of this, in all of your combat. You do have to switch away. It also features sections where to fight larger mobs you have to use a gun, but here's what's interesting. He actually programmed it in so the gun doesn't work on the smaller mobs. So it basically makes the chainsaw a necessary part of your toolkit, but it also makes the gun a necessary part of the toolkit. So it accomplishes the challenge of making Infinite Chainsaw fun by making it so that it's not you can't get away with using it the entire time. It was a very creative way around the solution. I really loved the problem solving being demonstrated here. And on a side note, on this map here, not only were regular modules used to good effect, but there was also this great custom geo section that was built for the occasion. It looks really, really cool, plays really, really fun. My only complaint about this one was that some of the enemies did feel a little bit spongy, but I was then informed by some other folks that had already played the map that there was a way to get around that. And so they let me know that when you have the higher level, the higher tier chainsaw, if you do keep swiping, eventually you are able to sort of knock over the bigger guys as well. All in all, definitely worth checking this one out to see the fun way that that Shadesmaster solved the problem of making Infinite Chainsaw fun to do. So that one more time is Bloodsaw by Shadesmaster. Great problem solving there and a great addition to Snapshot Challenge 1. Thank you for presenting this. The second entry into the Snapshot Challenge, the very first Snapshot Challenge, is The Killing Machine by Vlad Kablitsky 4. Now, we should not have been surprised that he was going to whip out the big guns in the custom geo department. He certainly delivered in this department, but what really intrigued me here was, first off, he was the only entrant to actually focus on the concept of infinite BFG. That was sort of the focus of this map right here. Players are tasked with testing out a new BFG device, but what's really interesting about it is he's actually created a bunch of scenarios where just because you have the BFG, it doesn't necessarily help you out. For example, there's an encounter where you're fighting a bunch of overjuiced barons, and just having the BFG isn't going to save you because it's going to take more than one shot. Now, what the other thing that's interesting is the way he accomplishes the infinite portion of the infinite BFG ammo is that the shots have to regenerate, so you get a new round of ammo every 12 seconds. So it's effectively infinite, but if you just sit there and spam
your trigger, you're going to run out of ammunition. You're going to have a little wait before you can get your hands on another one. So that was very, very interesting. A lot of, there's some great, interesting combat scenarios that were set up in this map. Another thing that was, obviously really great custom geo going on here. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the whole thing takes place in just 2 modules. It's really, really creative. Fantastic job there. It's a great looking map. It plays great. It's very, very challenging, very, very hard, which is something you don't expect to hear when you hear that you're going to have a BFG with infinite ammo for a map that has infinite BFG ammo at your discretion. For it to be hard, my only sort of complaint or feedback or anything that I could possibly give for this map is that it does take a little bit of time to ramp up because there's some story elements in the beginning to sort of front load everything. But the reason why that is sort of an issue is because the difficulty curve of it does invite replayability. You're going to probably need to play it a couple times to kind of get the full hang of it. But just sort of minor nitpicks here. It was really some just great design philosophy going on here in The Killing Machine by Vlad Kablitsky. Definitely give this one a look. I learned a lot by playing this one. Thank you very much for your entry, Vlad Kablitsky 4. The Killing Machine was awesome. The third map I played as part of the challenge was Smokey the Doom Guy by Taylorhead. And this was kind of an ironic one here. Taylorhead is known for making some of the longest maps in Snap Map history, and yet his entry was actually the shortest. It clocked in at something to the tune of 4 or 5 minutes, I want to say. Didn't take very long to play, but it was a really creative way to deal with the problem of infinite chainsaw. You see, you're a firefighter, and you're making your way through a burning forest, trying to rescue some people that are trapped in the burning forest. And of course there are a bunch of demons out there trying to stop you. Now, the demons do not do any damage to your Doom Guy, but the fire does, and the demons can knock you into the fire, and of course knock you off course while you're trying to rescue folks, which can be a bit, that being your primary goal, it can be kind of a hassle to get knocked off course there, and of course your score is decaying every moment that you're working. So if you take too long in your mission or spend too long trying to just kill demons there, you're going to end up with a much lower score. It's a really great way to sort of incentivize staying on task in this map. Now, I was really a big fan of the way that Taylorhead used classic elements in this map so that he had access to using trees to create that burning forest effect. So that was a really smart move there, and of course a lot of smart design decisions made by Taylorhead. For example, when you pick up somebody to rescue them, that you'll actually move a little slower, and when one of the rescue people, one of the folks you got to rescue is the fat guy, and when you rescue him, you move even slower. So a great attention to detail as well. And I really love the way that that like elements like the smoke from the fire is used to kind of keep you from seeing things coming right away. That the infinite chainsaw being your weapon means that you're not going to have guns to sort of keep folks away from you and keep the demons from batting you into the fire. A lot of really smart design decisions going on in this map, and it was a really great way to approach the challenge of infinite chainsaw, and I really appreciate what was being thrown down here. So definitely thank you very much, Taylorhead, for contributing Smokey the Doom Guy to this first Snap Map challenge. I had a lot of fun with this one. The fourth entry was Super Deathcore Chainsaw 3000 by Sonnenbloom, and insane doesn't begin to describe the experience of this map. First off, you are moving at light speed through this thing, and the interesting way in which Infinite Chainsaw was accomplished here was that the chainsaw doesn't use any ammo. What it does do is it overheats after X number of uses, and you have to wait for a cooldown period to use it again. Now, what's really fun about this one here is, again, one of the running themes of these entries seems to be that you're using the chainsaw as part of a complete toolkit. So even though it's infinite ammo, because of the way that infinite ammo is handled, it doesn't solve every problem. And in fact, if you try to use just the chainsaw, then you get kind of messed up here. The way that's accomplished in this map is there's all these like great little custom special attacks that you have as well. For example, when you jump, you let out an explosion. and the explosion is used to, any demons that are killed by the explosion, it's used to fuel a special attack that kills everything in the room as well. And Sonic Bloom thought of everything, by the way. Using these attacks also grants score, which is it's something that's usually overlooked when you're trying to use environmentals for special abilities. Even right down to the fact that the Tesla rocket was converted into a one-hit kill weapon as well. So you've got all of these like new, unique ways. So to the point where having a chainsaw with infinite ammo is like, the most mundane weapon in your arsenal, which is really interesting if you think about it. It was a really fun way to approach it, and the combat in this one was just super fun. Like, I can't tell you, how often I say, unleashing a Tesla rocket is just fun, but it really was. It was like a little Hadouken. It was like just so cool. So, if you're just looking for a rollicking good time, it's sort of a survival-based experience. You're in there trying to get as many points as possible. Doesn't take too long to play, but definitely worth your time. Check out Super Deathcore Chainsaw 3000 by Sonic Bloom. I was really enjoying this one. It was nuts. Just super speed all over the place. I am a big fan of this map. Great job. Thank you very much for your entry, Sonic Bloom. And our final entry was The Righteous Ripper by CJ the Red Non. And this one was another interesting way of solving the problem of infinite chainsaw. So you have infinite ammunition, infinite gas, and it's actually explained in the story that you are a priest of the chain god who, when you bless chainsaw gas, it gives it infinite chainsaw gas. Interesting, however, that blessing also drains your life every time you use the chainsaw. So every time you swipe with the chainsaw, you lose 5 health. And what's really interesting about that is it really, what was really funny was in the chat when I was playing this one, a lot of folks were like, just stop thinking about it and just try to, chainsaw them, kill them, stop being weird about it. But, here's the thing. It really does offer something for everybody. For the people like me, it offers all the tools you need to try to do the combat math on the fly, to try to make sure that you're not running out of health before you kill everything in the room. And, of course, you have the opportunity to refill your health between rounds. But if you are the kind of person that just likes to rip and tear, this is going to offer you that experience as well. But here's the thing, ripping and tearing is going to have a price here, and that price is in blood, so you still have to be accurate. You still have to think about your actions a little bit. It really does take the concept of infinite chainsaw and put some thought behind it. It's a very simple little thing, just replacing, one system for another, replacing ammo with health, but it really does change the dynamic so very much. So I definitely recommend checking this one out. You can certainly learn a lot from it. Now, as far as like the combat in and of itself, it is very challenging, and it doesn't take too long to play either. It has a par time, about 10 minutes, and you can beat it within that par time. It's really good for that. So it's a nice short experience, but it's definitely a challenge for those that wonder, what would happen if I had infinite chainsaw, but I wasn't able to get health every time I did it. I'm in fact losing health every time I use the chainsaw. It's a really awesome way to do things, and it also made a little nod by having a segment in there that all said infinite BFG. So it's a really great entry. Definitely want to thank you very much, CJ the Red Nod, for contributing the Righteous Ripper to this challenge. I had a ton of fun with this one. I'm probably going to play this one just like all the other ones again.
I want to, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you, Shadesmaster. Thank you, Vlad Kablitsky 4. Thank you, Taylorhead. Thank you, Sonic Bloom. And thank you, CJ the Red Nun. The 5 of you answered the question, can Infinite Chainsaw and BFG be compelling, with a rousing yes, here's how, in a number of ways. And I thank you on behalf of the rest of the Snap Map community. We thank you very much for these awesome maps, for showing us how it's done. They were all fantastic. They all deserve your play. And if you want to play these maps yourself, go ahead and do a search. All you got to do is search for the custom tag SS1. All 5 of those maps are going to come up. And if you feel like you want to make a map that has Infinite Chainsaw or BFG and be a part of this as well, I mean, go ahead and tag it SS1. I probably won't, get to it right away, but in any case, that was the Snapshot Challenge for this week. A huge rousing success. Again, thank you very much to everybody that participated, and I will be announcing the subject of the next Snapshot Challenge on tomorrow's episode of the Snap Map Top 5. So be sure to tune in for that.